our first message, we talked about stay awake.
Mm-hmm.
Stay awake. And then on last Sunday, we talked about declutter your life.
Amen.
Declutter your life. Today, we want in Advent 3 to speak from the thought, the coming. The coming.
Amen.
Our text will be taken from Matthew, the 11th chapter, beginning at the 2nd verse, which reads, Now when John in prison heard the works of Christ, he sent word by his disciples and said to him, Are you the expected one, or shall we look for someone else?
Yeah.
And Jesus answered and said to them, Go and report to John what you hear and see. The blind receive sight, and the lame walk. The lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear. And the dead are raised up, and the poor have the gospel preached to them. And blessed is he who keeps from stumbling over me.
Amen.
And as these were going away, Jesus began to speak to the multitudes about John. What did you go out into the wilderness to look at? A reed shaking in the wind? But what did you go out to see? A man dressed in soft clothing? Behold, those who wear soft clothing are in kings' palaces. But why did you go out? To see a prophet? Yes, I say to you, and one who is more than a prophet. This is the one about whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger before your face, who will prepare your way before you. Truly I say to you, among those born of women, there is not arisen anyone greater than John the Baptist. Yet he who is least in the kingdom of heaven
Amen.
is greater than he.
Amen.
May the Lord bless the reading and the hearing of his word. The subject, the coming. In graphic detail, Daniel Black's novel, The Coming, transports readers into the holds of 3 slave ships. The Hope, the Lord Ligonier, and the good ship Jesus, sailing the Atlantic Middle Passage. These ships came first for farmers, healers, orators, and artisans of West Africa. They stole away everything that made us strong. Black narrates. Slave ships came to capture, but God forever comes to free.
Hallelujah. Amen.
This has been our understanding as an oppressed people in this strange land. In Isaiah 31, 1 through 10, the prophet testifies to a great reversal of circumstance for Judah's once exilic but now a redeemed community.
Amen.
For the blind eyes will be opened, the ears of the deaf will be unstopped. The lame man shall leap like a deer, and the tongue of the mute will sing joy.
Hallelujah.
The hope of the people of Judah is for miracle. Imagine the waters breaking forth in the wilderness and streams, I add, in the desert.
Amen.
Judah will be ransomed by a God who strengthens weak hands, makes firm, feeble knees,
Hallelujah.
and says to them of fearful or anxious heart, Be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, with the recompense of God.
Well,
He will come and save you. According to verse 4 of the 35th chapter of Isaiah. Psalms 146 gives similar responses to the prophet Isaiah. For he speaks of God's righting the wrongs that sin promoted. He will execute justice for the oppressed, the psalmist says. He will give food to the hungry and set the prisoners free.
Hallelujah.
Open the eyes of the blind and lift up those who are bowed down. The Lord loves the righteous, watches over the stranger, upholds the widow and the orphan. He also has something in store for the wicked. He will bring ruin on them.
Yes, yes.
Judah did not, nor will we, get to be the hero of God's story.
Thank you, Lord.
For it is God who comes with salvation
Hallelujah.
to free us all.
Yes.
In James's letter to the diaspora, patience is the prized virtue and expectation of the coming of the Lord.
Hallelujah.
According to the 7th verse of his 5th chapter. Be patient, therefore, brethren, until the coming of the Lord. See how the farmer waits for the precious fruit of the earth, being patient about it until it receives the early and the late rains. Endurance has value when coming to grips with suffering, according to verse 10. James exhorts the Jewish Christians scattered in the wake of Stephen's death to strengthen their hearts and remain unified,
Hallelujah.
for the coming of the Lord is at hand.
Yes, yes.
For the diaspora, as with John the Baptist and Jesus' disciples, news of the Lord's coming provides reassurance,
Hallelujah.
because a coming Lord brings reversals of circumstance.
Hallelujah.
That is, the blind see, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the poor receive the good news
Hallelujah.
preached to them.
Yes, yes.
In exchange for such reassurance, we jubilantly extol with Mary in her Magnificat. My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior, and celebrates what makes us strong.
Hallelujah.
John the Baptist's question in verse 3 of Matthew 11.